So what are some stuff, maybe cliche, non-cliche, what are some stuff that you look at when you are recruiting kids?
Man, you know how many emails or Twitter DMs I get every day just from kids like, Coach, here's this and this. And I think it's best if...
Hey, welcome back, guys. This is the Bench Starters. This is James Thornton.
And Noel Searles. Good to be back.
Yeah, hey, so this is Noel's first episode back for season 3. We're super excited to have my guy back. Man, love you, brother. Man, I'm happy to be doing this with you, man. And today we have a great guest, one of my great friends in the coaching world. He's one of my brothers, Liam Woulfe.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I'm excited.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
It was an alumni.
It was during COVID, wasn't it? It was over Zoom.
We was over Zoom.
Yeah.
Very grainy
in
footage.
The quarantine. Quarantine days, man.
Guys, we're live and direct from Merriam, Kansas. This is Gen 1 Studios production as well. So, man, Liam, just started off, man. I know you, so we just played you guys was it Friday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Friday night, man. It was a great game. Came down to 2 points. You guys pulled it out. Great job coaching as well.
Back at you too, man. Back at you.
Appreciate you, man. So I know you're a GA at St. Mary's in Leavenworth. It's an NAIA program in Leavenworth, Kansas. Anybody needs to know. Man, what does your daily duties look like being there?
Man, so I guess like being a GA, you kind of got to do a little bit of everything up there. So I do everything. I'll do practice planning, scouting. I'm in charge of like all the sets and plays of the opponents we play. I'm in charge of the JV program, and then I'm in charge of weights, player development, workouts. Got to make sure kids are going to class, and then everything down to the worst part of it is I got to do the laundry. That's the worst part.
I knew it was coming.
I could never do another load of laundry in my life and be cool with it, man.
It's the worst.
Those dudes smell. But yeah, so it's just day-to-day stuff like that. And it's like this is my second year doing it now. So Coach Brown up there, our head coach, he trusts me a lot more now. So just recruiting too is a big part of it. Learning, just kind of being a sponge as well. That's what I kind of try to be. Learn something new every day up there.
What would you say your favorite aspect about it is so far? You just listed all your duties. What do you think? Like, what do you gravitate towards? Like, what do you really look forward to?
I think, of course, game days are the best day, right? Like,
the best day,
and especially like doing the scout. Like, I've never been in like charge of scouts before in the last couple of years, and then so that was new to me. But I love, maybe the best feeling is like when another team comes down and they call a set and I call that set out perfectly. Mm-hmm. and I just look at the other coach and they just get so pissed off because they know it's not going to work.
Right.
That, or it's like really just kind of building that relationship with the guys too. Mm-hmm. Being a GA, I played there as well. So it's like, I kind of got to be, I'm like the bridge between it. It's like, they don't want to go talk to the head coach or the assistant coach about something. They come tell me, and then I got to break the news, or it's, hey coach, can you pick me up? Or hey coach, I need some lunch, stuff like that, or I need help in a class, or everything from that to
just kind of fill in. Just kind of fill in the gaps, whatever they kind of need. And those coaches were key. Always enjoyed those. The assistants that you might not always be able to foster that relationship with the head guy, but if you got a good assistant coach, I think you got a strong team, man, for sure.
Yes, and I got to play off Coach Brown. Coach Brown's a pretty fiery guy, so I got to kind of be the mellow
to his fire.
Yes, for sure. And they're hot at practice, and I got to kind of pull them to the side and be like, all right,
the buffer guy for sure.
Yes, I'm like, just listen to what he was saying, maybe not how he was saying it. Like, he means well, and I'll tell him, I'll have to like pull him to the side and calm down, but it's good. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
So also know that you have an AAU program. We also talked about in the last pod, and it's really grown since the last was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You guys have a good group of guys. I know you say your 2025 class is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Man, can you tell us about like just the growth of your program, PAC basketball, the growth, and then what you guys have plans for this summer?
Yeah. So we started PAC about 6 years ago. I feel old every time because like now the kids that I first started with, they're playing in college now, so I get to go see them play. This is going into our 6th year. I think we're gonna have at least 5 teams, which is wild to me because we just started it out of like my church and just like grabbing some kids from the church group and going out and playing up at like some small tournaments to where now it's like this past winter, maybe fall, the Next circuit, which is a new circuit that Next Pro and New Balance are making, they kind of hit me up and they're like, hey, we want you to play in it. Like, this is what's going on. And like, I was like, I've had some people before, like, hey, come play in this or come, form together. And I've never really felt good about it. But like, this is the first time, like, I sat down, talked to all my kind of like inner circle about it and my mentors and really prayed about it. And I think it's going to be a huge opportunity for us. I think it's going to put us on some of the biggest stages around the country and put my guys in front of a lot of coaches and give them a lot of exposure and just kind of keep building that culture that we've established. And again, I do think my 2025 team, you can quote me on this actually. I think we might be the best team in the city for 2025. If I'm working on getting a few more kids in. My head coach's son, actually, Zeke Brown, he's killing it right now up at Lawrence Free State. He's averaging like 16 a game as a sophomore and had a couple 20 balls in there. So I have a good group of kids to build around and grow with in that team and sticking with them.
I have a question. So I think we're kind of in a rare breed right now, just because. So we coach college, and then at the level that we coach at, we can also coach high school.
Yes.
What's like the difference that you see coaching high school and coaching college, then you got to go to high school basketball? Because for me, I always know it's like the pace of the game is always. So I always feel like, man, I feel like a genius when I'm watching the high school game. Like, okay, like the game's a lot slower. But then, what do you see like the aspects that you just see like, man, it's just so much different compared to.
Yeah, I think, again, like you said,
like your college guys.
I think coaching at the NAI is perfect. I love small college basketball just because I kind of grew up around it. Again, then it does give us the opportunity to coach club basketball as well, whereas if you coach at an NCAA school, you can't. But the biggest difference, I still remember last year, that 2025 group was freshmen. And one of my old players that's in college now, he came up, he was out of practice, and he could just tell I was getting frustrated with him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, remember, they're freshmen in high school. Like they're not 17 yet. They're not in college yet. So I mean, outside of like the obvious stuff, like we don't practice 5 days a week. We're not together all the time. Like I don't get extra workouts, weights in with them all the time. It's really just kind of being more patient and developing them until like, I mean, we've talked before where it's like really when they're like 15, even sometimes 16, I don't really care about winning and losing. I really just care about building them up as a player, building them up as a team. And then when they get to 16, 17, that's when you win because that's when the coaches are there and you want to play on those court A or court 1, not court 12 in the back, Ox Gym. But I love coaching both. Sometimes it is pretty time consuming both ways. I wish I had a little bit of time off, but it's really rewarding being able to kind of coach those kids up. And it's an easy way to recruit kids too. It's an easy tool to recruit kids. Yes, for sure.
Create your own pipeline, and also
I spend all day at a gym, so I'm watching 12 basketball games in between my games.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like I get it. I have my Running Rebels gear on, and then I need to go to the car so I can go sit in the stands to watch another kid play.
Throw the jacket on or something.
I got my park stuff right there. So
I got it on right now, man. I got the pack stuff on.
Exactly.
Always got to be repping.
You guys never sleep. I can already tell you guys are never sleeping. But yeah, the biggest difference I'll say, and this is my first year kind of really dipping my toes into the coaching waters, just kind of like, I guess when you say pace, but also the physicality, like some of these dudes, man, they go when they go from being a senior to a freshman in college, it's just, the game is just too physical. And like those guys that have been in college, they have time to do like, I'm getting in the weight room or I'm outside working on my speed and agility, and they're just doing all these things that like being a high school senior, you don't have time for it. Like you're kind of still a kid.
Yeah.
And then that bridge from going that summer from going to a senior to a freshman is just, it's kind of overwhelming at times. Sure. It was for me. I know that adjustment.
Oh, same. I thought it was. I thought I was in slow motion my freshman year playing,
man.
And now I go back and watch a high school game, and I'm like, it feels like I'm watching slow motion now.
For real.
But yeah, that's the issue we see kids coming in, especially. I think there's a stigma around playing NAIA basketball. It's like, oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be the guy immediately, like all this,
not.
And like they don't understand that. Like especially after COVID, you're playing against dudes that are like 25,
grown men.
You're playing against grown men that have been doing this for 4 or 5 years, and you're 18-year-old kids still, and some of them are still growing, everything like that.
Yeah.
But every kid figures it out eventually. You just hope they figure it out sooner rather than later.
No, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So just kind of going back to us, being able to watch certain kids or going to events and being able to be there and doing, coaching and then also recruiting. So what are some stuff, maybe cliche, non-cliche, what are some stuff that you look at when you are recruiting kids?
Man, you know how many emails or Twitter DMs I get every day just from kids like, Coach, here's this and this. And I think it's best if like I'll see like different recruiting sites and stuff. They send me stuff versus rather like a kid sends me something. If a kid sends me something directly, I'll read it. Like a lot. I try to read everything because when I was getting recruited, I was like, man, I hope they're reading this stuff. Like, da-da-da. But like heart of the season, I had a game yesterday. We had, I had to get my scout done. I had to get all the laundry done and everything. Got a game tomorrow. It's like, I don't have time to be responding to every email, all this. So like, I think Twitter's is like such a good tool that a coach can use because I can go to a kid's profile, see what they're doing, see where they're at. But I mean, cliche stuff that sticks out. I mean, like especially like if a kid says he's 6'7", I'm gonna click on it. Like that might sound bad, but like you never turn down height. You can't teach height.
You can't teach height.
So that and then just looking at like outside of basketball stuff. Of course, you want to get kids with good grades because you don't want them to come in and flunk out, especially if you're giving them scholarship money. You know what I mean? That you can't. You want them there for 4 years to get ready for the next 40 years of their life because more than likely, if you're at a small college, you're not going to play professional basketball, at least for that long and make that much, make a living off of it to live off the rest of your life, like these pros we see every day. But, I mean, outside of height and stuff like that, it's if a kid can be, like, personable in like a message, that'll go a lot farther than, like, a generic. You can tell when email is generic or a message is...
It's a copy and paste.
Yeah, it's a copy and paste. Or, like I'll have kids tag me. It's like, blah, 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 tagged you in a tweet. And there's 30 other coaches tagged in it. I'm like...
Now that...
Yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. I'm like,
you got to use your brain on
like,
those.
I'm not even... at this point, I'm just muting your notifications because you send me that every day. like, I don't need to see that. But yeah, the recruiting aspect is way different, especially like, I mean, because you got to recruit for your AAU team too. It's way different than just recruiting for college. Like it's more of me trying to sell kids on my program to come like play for 3 months rather than, come for the next 4 years of your life and here's this plan for you because, I got this 25-year-old senior in front of you. Mm-hmm. And if you follow this plan and you develop and get better like you should, then, maybe as a freshman, you're not getting much burn. A sophomore, you're getting more junior, senior, you want to start. Because we like to build with freshmen, so that's just kind of the way we go about it. I know like a lot of schools will go, which is smart too, like go get a bunch of JUCO guys and just roll with it, right?
Gotta get those transfers in.
Yeah, I mean,
gotta get the older guys in.
Some
I
schools
was that guy. I quite literally was that guy.
And that's what a lot of teams in our league are, and they're having a lot more success than we are right now. But we try to build a freshman and then bring transfers in to plug in like the holes.
The holes, yeah. So, no, that's smart. I think that's smart. Because
we brought like it was when I was playing. We brought like 6 transfers in. And they
everybody thought they want to be the guy.
Exactly. And nothing, it was just butting heads nonstop. Yeah. So we're like, a freshman, at least as a freshman, will be like, okay, I'm a freshman,
I don't know nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
actually about to sit down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm actually getting beat on in practice every day.
Yeah.
So I actually understand why I'm not in this game right now.
For sure.
No, you're right. I like that, what you said about being personable, because I really do think for a successful basketball team, you need guys that are high character guys just because, like you said, that headbutting in practice, it gets old. After a while, it wears on you, man. It wears on you. And I kind of noticed as a player and even now more so as a coach, like when you got those guys and they're constantly arguing, bickering, at each other's necks, it's just like, and you not, maybe you're winning some games, maybe you're hovering around 500, but I've never seen a team that's consistently winning like at above a 600 clip to where they're always at each other's necks unless
it never works.
Supremely talented, and it's just like, all right, you're playing below your
for sure. You have to have like the culture. You got to have a good culture.
Exactly, you got to build it.
Because if you have a good culture, like you can have a couple of those dudes, a couple knuckleheads that'll butt heads,
and you need them,
and then it's like yes, for sure, because it's like, hey, when the going gets tough, they can go get you a bucket.
And it is a competitive pride thing about those guys when they know, like, man, we probably should be playing better, or they feel like they're that guy. But when you have a good culture, more than likely they probably are that guy,
and they'll fall in line too. Like,
exactly.
If you have a couple of them, they see, well, I got these 5 seniors, and maybe I'm new, but I'm a transfer or a freshman that's a knucklehead or whatever. It's like, well, let's win for these guys. Yep. If the culture's right. Whereas if I don't respect the seniors, I'm not gonna.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go get mine.
Exactly. Hurts the basketball team every time, man. 100%. It really does.
So me and you kind of have the same role. Like, I'm not a GA, but I'm an assistant coach. But I mean, we kind of do this. We do a lot of the same stuff. I go open up the gym. Late at night, I do the laundry. I try to get if I try to be Klein to the gym to prep for game day. I try to beat him to the gym. He's a madman. Sometimes I get there, everything's already ready to go. So, but I do feel like he's giving me more. He's giving me more tasks to do, like throughout the day and throughout the year, which is good because it's my second year as well. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think makes and I know it's probably a weird thing to ask you, but what do you think makes a great assistant coach, or what do you think that you do great, that you feel like that you bring positivity to the team? Yeah. So what do you think?
No, I think especially like looking at you and I, we've been kind of on like the same like path, like journey path. Like we started with AAU, we kind of did that, like went the high school route a little bit, and then like college is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And it was a lot different than what I was like expecting it to be. I guess like the biggest thing I can say is like, if you don't truly love like basketball, then you shouldn't be an assistant coach and you shouldn't be a GA. And that might be like maybe like a hot take, but like it's not a easy task. It's not an easy job to do. A lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, well, like you just do practice for 2 hours a day and you go to games. And especially me being like a single dude, when I start talking to a girl and she goes, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I coach basketball. And they're like, what else do you do?
What else? I know what else.
I'm like, you can see what I'm doing every day.
You'll know.
So I think it's like, you really got to be bought in, especially because you have to like, I always tell myself when I'm throwing a load of laundry, I'm like, you got to pay your dues. You got to work your way up that ladder, because it's all about the connections you have, like, and like the people you know. And if you're like half-assing it, it's not gonna work out for you. You're gonna hurt the team in the long run. And like my job as a coach, as an assistant coach, is to make the head coach's job easier. Yeah. So like if he wants to be, like, man, I got a family thing, he's got to be able to trust me to run a practice or go out and recruit these kids. Because at the end of the day, like, especially being a GA, like, I'm not going to lose my job as a GA because the whole contract with the school and all that, like, but it's his job to win basketball games.
Yep.
And so if he doesn't bring in the right people and trust the people around him, then he's facing to lose his job.
Food off his table, man.
Yeah.
Basically. It's just food off his table.
And so, like, if you don't love what you're doing, like, if I didn't love basketball like I did and love the kids and love St. Mary and love the culture that we're building, then I would not be as successful, GA, assistant coach, whatever it might be. So that's probably a long answer to that. But
it was a great answer. Yeah. It was exactly what we were looking for, honestly.
No, the craziest thing, the one thing I'll say, like, from being assistant coach, the one thing I dislike is driving those vans after late night. Oh my God!
And I know, Coach. I'm looking at that camera right now. If Coach Brown's watching this, I know you can drive home sometimes too, man. And he sits next to me and he controls the aux, and we just listen to old music. And I love him to death. But when we listen, he called it. It's like we was listening to Janet Jackson, who's great, but he was skipping every other song. And I'm like, just play someone else, bro. But that's the worst. The vans are the worst.
The van drives it's small college basketball. I would say driving and don't lose, man.
Oh, that's the worst.
Because I'm thinking about because like I'm not a person like I don't say I try to go back and watch the film before I say anything because I don't want to say anything that's just wrong.
Exactly.
But there's stuff in my head. I'm like,
you probably not even focused driving. You probably thinking a million things ahead.
I'm tired.
I just hope we stop at a gas station so I get an energy drink.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to kill this really quick.
Dude, oh man, that's what me and Dalton did today. We had a JV game today, and then I said, "Hey, bro, before we get back on this road, I'm stopping at the gas station. You can keep going." He's like, "No, I need a drink too." So we had to go get that Mountain Dew to make that drive home a little bit easier.
You definitely gotta pay your dues, man. And then I just keep telling myself that because at some point there's gonna be a kid my age when I'm older that hopefully if I'm a head coach somewhere, that hopefully I have a GA that is dedicated to the program and wants to really do that. And I think last thing I'll say on is if you don't want to coach college sports, don't be a GA, don't be an assistant. Like especially the GA. Like I know a lot of GAs that just they do it because they're getting their masters paid for. Yeah. If you don't want to, go be the GA in the business office or the coffee shop, bro. Like if you don't truly love basketball and want to win, then or whatever sport you're doing it for, don't do it.
Asking a lot of a person, honestly.
Yes. Yeah, that's a lot. Really is. That's a lot. And I mean, I've only heard positive stuff about Coach Brown. Coach Klein's been only great to me, man. So what do you think about mentorship when it comes to coaching? It doesn't even have to be Coach Brown. It doesn't have to be Coach Klein. But how would you tell future coaches or even young players now that might think about getting coaching? What do you say about trying to find the right mentors? Because like for me, I coached under Albert Collins. He coached at Sumner High School. He's the most winningest, his class is the most winningest class in Mo Western history. I coached under Billy Thomas for 1 year, and the preparation that Billy would have and Coach Gore would have, they're both at Rockhurst High School now. The preparation in practice was just amazing. How they talk to kids was just amazing. Both Albert Collins and Billy, how they talk to kids. I really saw because you guys know me, man, I'm probably quick tempered, but seeing how you can still get the most out of kids with just communicating. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be rah, but sometimes you might need a rah. Yeah. But I never seen Billy ever raise his voice. He claps his hands like crazy. Yeah. His hands is big as shit. But he clap his hands, but then he never yelled. And then it was Coach Collins, he might have yelled, but he always come back. When he yelled, it always seemed like dude, you know better, or it's a disappointment. Come on, guys. I know that you guys can do better. So what would you think about finding the right mentors in the coaching world? Yeah,
I think you can learn. I try to learn something from every coach I've interacted with, either worked under, worked with, been coached by. I think you can learn from the good and the bad. I think I learned a lot from. I had some assistant coaches in high school that they were just not good people, and I'm never one to I ain't soft. I'm never one to talk back to a coach, nothing like that, never. So I just took it. But there's a line, you don't cross, and I think I learned what not to do from them, and that's really what got me. Really, my interest in coaching was him, and then my old AAU coach, who's my brother. His name's Dante Newsom. He taught me more about probably being a man than being a coach, but just the way he carried himself and the way he interacted with his players. That's where I really took it from. And then I can look at Coach Isaac. He coached me when I was playing, and then he was a GA at St. Mary, and then when he got a job at a high school, I worked with him. Dude's a wizard on the whiteboard, bro. All the sets I run, I got from him. I ain't gonna lie, because I take something from here, take something from there, and then I think you can look at Coach Carmichael, who's our assistant coach at St. Mary. He's one of the best recruiters I've ever met. I always say he could sell ice to an Eskimo. He could sell. I'm listening to his recruiting speech. I'm man, I'll give me a couple more years, man. I'm ready to go.
Please, can I tell you one story? Can I tell you one story? So when Rob, when he messed up his eye, so he, all that stuff happened. So then St. Mary's still really wanted him, right? Yeah. So we drive to St. Mary's. They first asked what's his favorite food. He's like, wings. Rob loves wings, right?
Go to B-Dubs?
Yeah, so we went to B-Dubs, right? So we go to B-Dubs. He gets what he wants. So it's a player's jersey is retired in Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, he's the most scoring player in Kansas history. He scored more points than Danny Manning.
Yeah,
like 3,000 something. And you look at him, he looks just like me, bro. I'm like,
I think
you probably know him.
Yeah, yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
So they tell Rob, well, of course, trying to get to know him and stuff like that. They're talking. He's like, we want to put your jersey right next to him. I said, man, sign me up.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually like, I'm telling Rob on the car right home. Man,
that's some movie stuff right there.
No, sign here. You know what I'm saying?
He taught me so much about like recruiting wise. And then I look at Coach Brown. He told me when I remember I was sitting in his office crying because I was like, I hit a crossroad where it's either, man, my AAU team's growing, or do I put like time and work on my own game and get a lot better because I need to get a lot better.
He told you some real stuff, probably.
And he was real with me, but I made the decision, like, I was like, I'm done playing. I was like, I'm a focus on this, and like if I can get 2 kids from my AAU team to play college basketball that replaces the one that me stopping and then added one more, at least 2. Yeah. And I hope it's a lot more than 2, and it has been more than 2, thank God.
No, yeah,
but he looked me in the eye. He's like, well, do you want to coach college basketball? I said, I've never really given any thought. He's like, well, stick around the program for the next 2 years, and help out and be my student assistant, learn the ins and outs of college basketball, and then we'll see what goes from there. And then they had a GA who ended up not working out. I was going to take a gap year, and he doesn't know this, but like I told him, like, yeah, I'll take a gap year and then I'll be your GA after that. But I was like, if another opportunity comes up, I wasn't going to take a gap year if I didn't have to. But he called me, and it was like the day of my graduation party. He was supposed to come over and have a drink with me, man. And I was like, where are you at? And he's like, well, my GA, didn't work out. Like, I want you to be my GA. He's like, when can you start? And I was like, he's like, do you want it? I was like, could not talk on the phone. He's like, do you want it? I was like, of course. I was like, yes. And he's been through it. He's lived it. He's been through he was at a D2, transferred to St. Mary, finished his career there. Went to coached high school for a little bit, was a volunteer assistant coach, and then a head coach. And he's been a head coach for 10 years at St. Mary. And he's like, the way he can like build relationships with guys is what I've like really taken from him. Yeah. And build a relationship with his coaching staff too. Like I would run through a wall for that guy. Yeah. And it's just, so that's the main thing I learned from him is it's just like the relationships, and he's been through it and he's seen it. Mm-hmm. So it's like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Most coaches, in my experience, most good coaches, they're also good people. I mean, you get a few guys that are, they're just such basketball like geniuses that they get away with being an asshole, which, I've had those, and you learn things from them though, as well. You learn, certain things, but
getting the job done is one of those things. Like no matter how someone talks to you or whatever, if you get the job done, it's like always you're always gonna get a pat on the back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
For sure.
But I would say building relationships is probably one of the biggest thing.
I feel like it's all this business is for real. It's building relationships with the players, other coaches, and connections, and because it's like I don't make any money doing this AAU thing, but it's like I invest in these kids, and hopefully maybe 20 years from now, hopefully they're millionaires and want to build me a gym, or something like that. But if there's a kid that's in high school when they're my age that needs to be a good mentor, or be just needs like a, hey man, you all right? Mm-hmm. Like that's all it is for me, and just like try to instill that in those kids. So it really is about building relationships. So
who are like some coaches? I think both me and you probably be on YouTube and Synergy.
Oh yeah,
watching more than just our games. Yeah. So I'm a sub, so I know sometimes on my breaks or sometimes in the class, I might be watching Synergy, watching some games. So who are like some guys that you might not, some coaches that you might not truly know them, but like that you'd be like, man, I really like their style of play, because it might be it might be when you do get the opportunity of for me what I use AAU for is like using like the stuff that I might want to do when I do become a head coach, or the opportunity comes up, so I kind of test run it with those guys. So what are some coaches that you'd be like man, this guy's really really good, and I'm really gonna look at what they're doing, so maybe I can instill some of their stuff in my program.
I think if you look at of course there's Coach K. I love Coach K. Mm-hmm. I think he's the best coach of all time, arguably. Maybe if he's not one, then he's two. Just the way he's built that culture around Duke, and just the stories you hear, like I you know, on TikTok or whatever, and I hear like it's like JJ Redick talking about like he's sitting behind the bench and you know, Coach K called the timeout. The whole thing he said in the timeout was like, "I hate your faces," and he's like, "I hate your effing faces," and that was the whole timeout. And it's just because the culture he had built. It's like, okay, we got to turn this back on. It's Duke. And then I think like maybe the most like coach the coach that I've taken the most things from is probably Jay Wright. I think Jay Wright. I wish he didn't retire. I think he retired because of the whole NIL deal stuff. But that dude, his offense, I love how his defensive philosophies, everything. Like we run his offense. Well, a very dumbed down version of his offense for AAU. But I think I would have said that he's the best college basketball coach. Like at the while he was coaching, like one of the top. I mean, he turned Villanova.
No, he really did, man. That was a really good one. I love Jay Wright as well. Man.
And it's crazy because like I didn't know who Jay Wright was until he was at Villanova. And you look at it, and he's been at like 4 or 5 different schools, like as a head coach. And it's like you really don't. And he's like, when he retired, I looked at, I was like, he's only been like a coach for like, I was like, he had to have only been a head coach for like 5 years. Like what? And he's been a head coach for 20 plus years.
And it's crazy because he retired when he was 60. So I'm like I thought the same thing. Like, well, he's only been there probably doing like 8 years. So I was like, man, that's kind of 52 to 8. Man, he actually got at least 20 more years. I mean, at least 10 more years in you. But then when you realize, dang, it's probably about the time where a regular person would retire. Like, it actually probably makes sense. And he's been.
But yeah, I just kind of like how he carried himself. And then I've known a couple of dudes that been to Villanova and just hearing about their visits and how it seemed like he really cared about like there's a kid on our team. So he was like best friends. I grew up with a kid that played in Villanova. And I knew the kid that played at Villanova too.
Oh yeah.
He went and like to a game and Jay Wright like went up to him and was like, "Hey man, like hey so and so," said his name, everything. Like, "How you doing? Da da da. Like, how's everything up at St. Mary?" Like knew that much, just not even family, just like his friend. Like going up, and I'm like, again, it goes back to relationships. And how he built. Like it's
a genuine person.
Exactly,
he seems like a genuine guy for real. So we love Jay Wright over here, man.
I mean, one of the guys I really like watching, and I probably listen to every podcast information I can get is Nate Oates at Alabama. He's really cool. He kind of has like the same kind of story, kind of high school coach, and he's a math teacher. I'm not a math teacher, but I'm pretty good with math. You know, analytically driven, and he's assistant coach at Buffalo under Hurley, and then head coach, and then got a job at Alabama. And you know, I just like the stuff that he runs. He got
for sure.
Play fast, high pace, a lot of threes,
ton of threes, man. They got that kid shooting a ton of threes.
Yeah, Brandon Miller. Yeah, they're good, man. Hey, man. So this is gonna be a new segment that we've been trying to pave out here at the bench starters. We're gonna call it Hot Shot. All right. So me and Noah have thought of some questions to ask you. It's probably gonna be like maybe 8. We'll let you know. It's about 8 questions, but so you don't know these questions. So but you have 24 seconds to answer each one.
Oh, each question. I was like 24 for 8 questions. Oh
no. So it's gonna be 24 seconds for each one. So then you have time to think about it, but you got to get that shot off though.
Go quick. Okay.
All right.
I like it.
So no, you can start it off.
I can start. Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a it's an old one. Nike or Adidas?
Oh, Nike all the way. I hate Adidas.
Woo! Tell me why you hate Adidas.
I just grown up with Nike. My AAU coach, the guy, kind of made me like he was my mentor. Yeah. He would always give me trouble because I had like what were they called? The crazy lights.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, these shoes are so light. But I'd wear Nike Elite socks with them. He's like, you can't cross brand.
Damn, I'm big on not cross branding, but yeah.
But I mean, you look at like Kobe 8s are my favorite shoe of all time.
Oh yeah.
Kobe 8s, and then I love Paul George's shoe. And then I like KD 4s a lot too.
Okay.
Might be showing my age with that one a little bit.
A man of culture.
Okay. So we talk about hating driving those vans, but when you have the aux, what are you playing to get your boys ready for game day?
Man, they hate it when I have aux. I have a playlist right now that like it's old Drake, old Kanye, and old J. Cole. But me personally, I like Polo G, but they don't like Polo G like that. But
really?
and I like Rod Wave a lot. But they hate it when I play. I can't play Rod Wave before a game.
Rod Wave before a game is kind of crazy.
There's one dude on the team that loves Rod Wave. His name's Tariq, and we did this thing where it's like I just like would shuffle the playlist. I'm like, how fast can you name the song? He got like 24 in a row, like in the first second.
That is a sad man. I hope he's doing better.
I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he's doing better.
I hope you're doing okay, but
he was that number 32.
Oh,
I think yesterday. It makes sense when you look at it.
Yeah, you're doing good, Tyreek. Actually, you're doing good. What you got?
All right, hit the jumper in somebody's face or dunk on them. Which one?
I choose dunk on him just because I wish I could dunk. I think if you hit, I still remember we were playing runs. I always tell the kids as we were playing runs that you were having. I don't even remember the dude. He reminded me of a Flight, that like crazy dude. And he hit a 3 on my head. And I turned around to watch it, and he said
lanky.
He was lanky.
Was it
and he said headshot. Bah! And I was like, did he really just do that to me? And I told my AAU kids that.
Oh no, that was Liam's brother. That's Landon.
Landon?
Headshot, man.
And I was like, he really just did that to me. And I told my AAU kids about it. They were laughing at me. Then one of them did it the next game, and I was like, you did not just do that, bro. He hit his third 3, and like in the dude's head, bop, and
headshot.
I was like,
surprised that wasn't a take.
Proud.
I'm surprised that wasn't a take.
Wow, you're so impressionable. So I know you're a ball handler. You're probably one of the better pure point guards I've played with. Or you're always trying to get guys the ball. So even though you might not be shooting the ball, what's the best feeling basketball to you?
The best feeling of basketball?
Like the best feeling, like the brand.
Man, I used to love the Wilsons. When I was playing, I loved Wilsons, but the TF 1000 is my go-to.
That's the classic.
Not the orange one, but like the red one.
The red, that deep, dark, purple, almost purple.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite basketball.
No, I got you. All right, dream job in basketball. Go.
That's a tough one because people be like, if a D1 coach came up to, or a D1 school was like, I want you to coach, like, and we're going to give you this much money. I don't know how I can say no to that, but I love coaching small college. So I think like maybe not the dream, but one of the dreams is to go back to St. Mary and be the head coach one day. Because I graduated from there with my undergrad. I've played there. I coached there. So to take Coach Brown's job someday is my job. Is my dream. When he's done with it.
I got you.
All right, so I know that you guys shoot a lot of threes because you guys made, I think, 16 against us this year.
Quite a bit.
I think it was 15 or 16. It was a lot, man. It was a lot. So would you rather have the 33% three-point shooter or a guy who can shoot the mid-range at 46%?
That's a tough one.
You need both, but you got to choose one.
I learned from a coach in the MIAA. He said, if they can't shoot, don't recruit. And we got some dudes. I'm a mid-range guy myself. Yeah, I'm a mid-range guy myself. But I think the game's evolved so much. I'll take the mid-range guy just because that's where I am. That's where I am. That's where I am.
Hey, man,
I think it's a lost art in basketball.
I got you. All right, style of play: ground and pound, or pace and space, or run and gun, whatever you want to call it. Which one? Ground and pound.
I like to run and gun.
Run and gun.
Yeah, I like to trap as many as I can. Trap every ball screen, jump passing lanes. I always tell my kids, it's like if you're gonna gamble, it's like you're either all in or you're all out. No $10 bets. We're all in or we're all out. And if you're not all in or all out, then don't do it at all.
You're not doing no parlays then? You're not doing no $5 parlays?
I have, and I've lost all of them. So.
It's funny. I've not seen a NAIA team do the ground and pound. Everybody is fast in the NAIA.
I just love to run up and down.
Man, we still give it to our bigs, baby, over here.
We do play through our big, but we do like this transition break. But our big guy is one of the best in the league. He's tough.
You got to give him the rock.
Yeah, we have to. We got to play through him.
Yeah, most definitely give him the rock.
But me personally, like my AAU team, I think there's no big guys in Kansas City because you can look at like Rob's 6'8". Yeah,
but he wasn't 6'8", he wasn't 6'8" in high school.
But still, he was tall. He was one of the taller kids, probably one of the tallest on his team. And it's like
he was a point guard with us.
Yeah, exactly.
When I coached him, he's our point guard.
Because he's 6'8" point guard. Well, who's going to say no to that?
Exactly.
But like, if let's say even a kid's like 6'5", I had a kid that's 6'5". He was stuck playing the forward position at his high school. And I was like, you need to transfer and get out. Because he played guard with me, and that's how he got all his offers. I was like, you're 6'5", you're going to be a 3 or a 2 or 3 at the next level. So I try to play everyone as a guard, so that's why we run and gun a lot, switch everything, and just try to get a lot of turnovers.
It's the best form of basketball to me. I love it. I love it, man.
I think, once again, I think I I got 2 6'8" guys on my team for on my 2024. So I think I'm one of the luckier guys to
6'8", man. What?
Yeah. Say no names, man. I can't say no names. You got to come steal my guys, man. So up 3, your opponent has the ball. Are you fouling?
I already know, bro. I'm not fouling. I hate
fouling.
that.
5 seconds left. 5 seconds
left.
left.
I don't foul. I don't foul. You play it out. And it happened. It literally happened in one of our games this year. They're like, Coach, can we foul? And I was like, all right, fine. And they fouled and hit the first free throw. And then we didn't get an offensive rebound and we almost lost the game. I was like, so I do not foul.
So it's PTSD, basically.
Kind of. And it's like, you trust your defense, right?
You're
just
right.
getting one rebound.
Right. So I have a question. So if it's a home game or if it's a away game, does it matter for you?
No, I hate fouling.
He's firmly against the foul.
Yeah, I don't. That's one of like my biggest things. We were talking about it like a couple weeks ago. I hate fouling when you're up 3.
I mean, that's a smart man. I'm really on the fence.
So I'm gonna take it. Even if they hit it, worst thing goes in overtime, right?
Right.
So I'm
in my league. I think if it's a home game, I'm taking the foul because I'd rather play overtime.
You guys, the dome gets
it gets loud. But if it's a away game, yeah, we're just playing defense.
Playing it out.
No, I take that back. We're fouling because I'd rather not take that chance of
they can hit the 3,
and then that just more momentum. And now their crowd's loud.
I see that. Yeah.
You have one more though.
Let me see what. I think I exhausted all. Those were my 4, man.
Last question. All right. So you made it this far. The last question is: you're starting 5 in an NBA setting. Current players only. So who's your best point guard? Who's your best shooting guard right now?
Can I play people out of position?
Let's see. Listen, it's basketball, man. Let's see. 2023 basketball.
Let me play Luka at the 1. I'll play Steph at the 2. Can I do that?
Yes. We love that.
Okay.
We love it.
I think Kevin Durant's the best scorer in basketball. So give me him at the 3.
No arguments there.
Then we play. You say current guys only, right?
Yeah, current guys only.
Let me put Jokic at the 5. I just like how versatile he is, plus back-to-back MVPs.
Gotcha.
And then
your 4. Is it going to be a glue guy? Is it a star?
No, I got to go all stars, right?
All stars, baby. All stars, baby. Is it the king?
See, that's what I'm debating on because I'm an MJ guy myself, but I think you got to go LeBron at the 4, right?
At the 4.
You got to run him at the 4, either him or Giannis at the 4, one of them two. So I'll go LeBron just so I can have more Americans on the team, I guess.
Gotcha.
I do think the NBA is making that turn to where the European guys are taking over. I mean, I think if you look at the top 5 players in the league, 3 of them are probably European. And Giannis
or
and
just
Giannis
foreign, period.
Yeah.
And because you got Embiid as well.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 5. That's my 5.
Love it.
I love it. Man, Gen 1 Studios, thanks again. This was great. Liam, I wish the best for you, brother, man. Like, I really do. Like, I mean, you're a great coach, man. I see you in the summertime all the time. We matched up a couple times.
We battle it out, man.
In college and in AAU, we match up, we battle it out. It's always fun, man. It's always fun seeing you on the road, man. So, but it's the bench starters, and we're signing out.